Alright, what's up, everybody? We are up and early before the sun rise. Best time to see California Condors is before 9 a.m. So it's about an hour and 30-minute drive from Flagstaff to the Grand Canyon. We should get there a little bit before 8. And hopefully we see some California Condors as well as some other pretty cool birds. It's always a pleasure to be at the Grand Canyon and experience its grand beauty and how majestic of a place that it is. When I arrived, there were no signs of the California Condor, but the first bird that I did see was a lifer for me. My first lifer of the day ended up being the ash-throated flycatcher. The ash-throated flycatcher is a little bit smaller than the American robin. It tends to occupy dry scrub, open woodlands, and deserts in the western United States and in parts of Mexico. The ash-throated flycatcher can be identified through its peaked head, medium-sized beak, slender long tail, grayish-brown body, 2 white wing bars, and cinnamon edges on its wingtips. The ash-throated flycatcher is a medium to long-distance migrant. The population is almost entirely migratory, with the exception of populations in the desert southwest and parts of Baja California, which it's a permanent resident. As the day moved on, it became increasingly evident that we were not going to run into a California condor. I was a little bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, but we weren't gonna let this day go to waste. We still had plenty of birds we wanted to see and places we needed to go. We were also able to run into some regular residents of Arizona, like the great-tailed grackle, which has one of the loudest cries out of all the birds. Another bird we were able to run into was the pygmy nuthatch, which, in my opinion, is one of the cutest birds in the entire state of Arizona. After running into a few of these regular birds that I see in Arizona all the time, I saw my next lifer, the Townsend Solitaire. The Townsend Solitaire can be identified by its prominent white eye ring, buffy wing patches, and overall gray color. The Townsend Solitaire is another short-distance migrant. Some populations migrate to lower elevations for the winter, others move south into the United States or Mexico. Another great way to identify the Townsend Solitaire is by its very distinct call. Almost immediately after the Townsend Solitaire, we ran into another lifer for me. This one might be a little embarrassing, but it's the hairy woodpecker. The hairy woodpecker can be identified by its relatively long beak, white belly, white striping on its face, white dotted barring on its wings, and the males have a red crown on the back of their head. I'd put a map up of the hairy woodpecker's environment, however, it pretty much covers the entire United States except for a small section of Texas for whatever reason. The last lifer that I was able to see during the trip to the Grand Canyon was a bird that we had been hearing all day long, but we just couldn't get a shot of it with the camera, and that was the black-throated gray warbler. It can be identified through its black, gray, and white coloration, yellow patch right next to its eye, and all-white belly. This warbler is a short to medium distance migrant and forms mixed species flocks during migration with Townsends and hermit warblers as well. Although we weren't able to see the California Condor, the target bird that we were there to see, we were still able to see some amazing species of bird. Sometimes you get really lucky while birding, and sometimes you just don't see what you went to see. But it's all fun at the end of the day, and that's what's important. The hunt for the California Condor is not over. We're planning a trip to Navajo Bridge, which apparently that's where they're nesting right now, and so hopefully we'll see one there. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. I'll see you all next time on Bright-Eyed Birding.